Nobody could take you apart anymore. God bless you and thank you.
I have always maintained and said there is no mafia, there is no Cosa Nostra. And I said that this was only a harassment of the Justice Department, of the administration, and the law enforcement agencies.
Joe Colombo. How did he become boss of the Colombo family? Let's dive in, folks. In 1963, Joseph Bonanno, the boss of the Bonanno family, planned to murder several rivals within the Mafia Commission. The bosses, Tommy Lucchese, Carlo Gambino, Stefano Magadino, and Frank De Simone, were targeted for assassination. Bonanno sought the support of his best friend Joe Magliocco, who readily agreed. Bonanno was bitter for not securing a spot in the commission and had been a close ally of Joseph Profaci, who passed away in 1962. Bonanno aimed to take control of the entire commission and appoint his best friend Joe Magliocco as his right-hand man. Magliocco was tasked by Bonanno to eliminate Tommy Lucchese and Carlo Gambino, giving the assignment to one of his top hitmen,
Joseph Colombo.
At that time, Joe Colombo was only in the middle management of the Profaci family. Let's put it this way. However, Colombo revealed the plan to the intended targets, and the other bosses realized Magliocco couldn't have acted alone. They remembered Bonanno's close ties to Magliocco and Profaci, as well as their family connections through strategic marriages. The entire commission concluded Bonanno was the mastermind behind that sneaky, filthy plan. In a meeting called by the commission in New York, Bonanno fled to Montreal, fearing for his life, leaving Magliocco to defend himself. Health-stricken and
Pleading for mercy.
Magliocco confessed his role in the conspiracy. Led by Carlo Gambino, the commission spared Magliocco's life but forced him to step down as the boss of the Profaci family. As a reward for his loyalty to la Cosa Nostra and the commission, Carlo Gambino appointed Joe Colombo as the new boss of the Profaci family, later known as Colombo family. Well, Magliocco passed away from a heart attack in December 1963. Joe Colombo was involved in various criminal activities, including extortion, illegal gambling, drug trafficking, and money laundering. The Colombo family notably had significant presence in New York's gambling and extortion businesses. Joe Colombo was also involved in numerous violent conflicts, including clashes with the Gallo family. Which mafia families did he collaborate with? Joe Colombo had close ties to other mafia families, particularly the Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese family. These relationships often involved in collaborations in illegal enterprises and, well, you guessed it, power struggles. Regarding to Colombo's mafia connections, he also cultivated relationships with politicians and the public by founding the Italian-American Civil Rights League. Joe Colombo became known for founding the Italian-American Civil Rights League, claiming to combat injustice and stereotypes against Italian Americans. Later revealed as a front for mafia criminal activities, the league brought substantial income to Colombo, which he used for criminal investments. Primarily established to evade FBI surveillance, Joe Colombo's public presence brought more attention to La Cosa Nostra, much to the disapproval of the other commission bosses, particularly Carlo Gambino. Despite Gambino's being Colombo's mentor, their relationship deteriorated rapidly, resulting in grave consequences for Joe Colombo. Now some additional information for you folks. Michael and Sonny Franzese. What role did they play at the time of Joe's killing within the Colombo family? At the time of Joe Colombo's assassination, Michael Franzese, a high-ranking member of the Colombo family, was rising with its ranks. However, Michael Franzese didn't directly participate in Colombo's death. On the day of Joe's assassination, Michael personally received an order from Joe Colombo to distribute flyers and brochures. 5 minutes later, the shots were fired at Joe Colombo. John Sonny Franzese, another very high-ranking member within the Colombo family and one of the most influential made men, had influence and connections across organized crime. There's no clear evidence or information about Sonny Franzese's specific role during Colombo's assassination or if he was directly involved in the events. During a public event in 1971, Colombo was shot 3 times by an individual named Jerome Johnson. He was an associate of Crazy Joe Gallo's group. Crazy Joe Gallo had hired Johnson to assassinate the boss, Joe Colombo. Johnson disguised a photographer with a special grass pass for Unity Day obtained from an official sponsor of one of the Italian-American Civil Rights League rallies, shot Colombo when he left the stage after his speech. Colombo was hit in the head and neck and later succumbed to his injuries. Johnson was immediately shot dead by Colombo's bodyguards. Johnson was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey in 1946 and rose as a street gangster in East Harlem. His hiring by Joe Gallo came from their connection while Gallo was in prison, representing an unusual collaboration between street gangsters from Harlem and established mafiosi. Crazy Joe Gallo, a rival of Colombo within the mafia, was suspected of involvement in the planned assassination of Colombo. Crazy Joe Gallo had previous disagreements with Colombo and later became a victim of a fatal attack. However, there is no clear evidence or concrete information indicating that Crazy Joe Gallo personally ordered the assassination of Joe Colombo, the boss of the Colombo family. Crazy Joe Gallo and Colombo had past disputes, and Gallo openly opposed Colombo's leadership within the Colombo family. That's clear. It remains unclear whether Crazy Joe Gallo was actually involved in the attack on Colombo, played a direct role in Colombo's death, or was used as a pawn. What was Crazy Joe Gallo's style? Crazy Joe Gallo was known for being eccentric and unpredictable unpredictable. He had fascination with public attention and was infamous for his unconventional methods and propensity for provocation. Why did Joe Gallo want to kill the boss Joe Colombo? The exact reasons for Gallo's attack on Colombo are not definitely known. It's believed that personal feuds, power struggles within the mafia, and disagreement over territorial control led to this conflict. What happened to the murderer of Joe Colombo? Well, the assailant, Jerome Johnson, was immediately shot and killed by Colombo's security. His exact motives or connections to possible masterminds were never fully uncovered. What happened to Crazy Joe Gallo? Well, Crazy Joe Gallo was murdered on April the 7th, 1972 at a restaurant named Umberto's Clam House in Little Italy, New York City. The circumstances of his death remain unresolved to this day. There are several speculations and theories, but no clear evidence or official explanations for his violent demise. The identity and motives of his killers remain unclear. Several men, possibly members of a rival mafia faction, are believed to have been responsible for Gallo's murder. Some theories suggest the attack was retaliation for past mafia conflicts. My personal theory suggests Carlo Gambino ordered the hit on Joe Colombo, levering Joe Gallo. Gambino, displeased with Colombo, used Gallo's hatred towards Colombo as an opportunity. The question that rises: why were so many Colombo and Gambino men positioned in the front rows of the day of Joe Colombo's murder? Second, why did they all have firearms? Third, why was Johnson immediately shot at close range? Fourth, why was Joe Gallo suddenly killed later? And fifth, why was Gallo's bodyguard also shot? These are way too many coincidences for me. Well, what is your opinion on Joe Colombo's death? Was he ultimately eliminated by the commission, using Joe Gallo as a scapegoat? Or was the assassination of Joe Colombo merely a pure act of terrorism? Well, now it's your turn, folks. Show me how awesome you are and support my channel so I can create way more videos for you. Drop a like and share my videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next exciting part about the mafia. Ciao ciao, ci vediamo.